Boy, they send you.
Good morning. This is Richland County Board of Commissioners, April 2nd. I am Commissioner Darrell Banks, fellow Commissioners Cliff Mears, Tony Vero, Clerk Stacy Kroll, Administrator Andrew Keller, and with us is Josh Hicks, Maintenance Supervisor, Superintendent, and Rebecca Owens, who's been the last year with the EMA, and it's going to come to an end soon.
You won't have anything to do after that.
Online, we have Al Lawrence from the News Journal and Carl Hunnell from the Richland Source. And we're waiting on county IT. No, we're not going to wait on county IT. We are going to go to other.
If the minutes could reflect that Matt Hill gets an F- for his punctuality, I would greatly appreciate that.
I would second it if
I mean, if you don't do your IT training within 30 seconds for the entire month that it's due, you start getting emails that people haven't completed their IT training. So
I've noticed that.
yeah,
That's
so
right up.
it's like, hey, we just sent this out. These people haven't completed it for the month. Well, there's 30 days left in the month.
Moving on to other, can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
I need to make an amendment to the amendment on tape :01, where it says be considered for an hour lunch. Unlike the commissioner's employees, we need to scratch along with and have that say, but they are going into executive session for compensation for a certain pay grade position of a public employee. So that clarifies why we went into executive session, which is a listed exception under the Ohio Revised Code. So the sentence should read, the judges are asking for common pleas employees to be compensated for an hour lunch. Unlike the commissioner employees, and then you need to scratch out along with, and then say, see here, let me rephrase that. The judges are asked, unlike the commissioner's employees, but they are going into executive session for compensation of a certain pay grade position, public employee.
All right.
That I will second that motion and amendment.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Vero?
Yes.
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Okay, can we get a motion to certify the record of proceedings? Oh, we just did that. How about approving requisitions?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Vero?
Yes.
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Okay. Been asked to accept two quotes. Oakstone renovations. $9,135 at child support and $5,360 at park building.
So moved.
And I'm very familiar with these people. They do exceptional work and I will second that.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Vero?
Yes.
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess there's nothing else we can do until. Did you have something you wanted to bring forward?
Oh, I'm just here to support Matt, you know.
Is he here?
No.
Okay, well,
They're on their way, he just said.
Text him.
Al, we've just been alerted they're on the way, but any questions about what we've done so far?
Yeah, what is that renovation work? What are they doing? Repairing brick on the buildings or what?
Yeah, they're replacing some bricks, then new tuck pointing, and then sealing all the bricks. It'll be on the inside of the roof, so the public won't see it.
Carl, you have anything?
No, but I certainly did enjoy listening to Tony say 5,000 words in order to change one sentence in the minutes of the meeting. That was certainly appreciated.
The minutes were how they were written, I was trying to do it so Stacy didn't have to come back and ask me how to do it. It didn't actually capture what happened because you were alleging we weren't going into executive session for the right reasons, and you were wrong once again.
I was not alleging, I was merely asking a public official a question in a public meeting, and I refute your accusation that I was accusing you of something.
Well, you two can have your little personal battle some other time.
Afternoon, Matt.
We said we were gonna send an email.
9:35 and our 9:30 showed up.
We said we were gonna send an email out like you do when you send those notices that people haven't done their IT training.
If you would do it in a timely manner,
Timely manner, it comes a half hour after I get here.
Hill,
not you,
you
Tony.
beat me yesterday.
Oh, I don't know. I was off yesterday, so I didn't.
Well, gentlemen, how about we talk about the moving the Everbridge notification contract? You want to talk about the situation, and EMA Director Rebecca is here to support you and explain to us why we need to make a change.
Several years ago, about 3 years ago, we switched over to Winds for the whole county for notifications. Been kind of a nightmare. They are very hit or miss, especially on delivering text messages. And I did check the last ones that went out the 30th. I think we had some from NOAA. It did go out. But normally we don't have that. Text messages and phone calls both fail. So we started looking, IT started looking into maybe switching to another company. During the 3 years ago, we did demo a few companies. Everbridge was one of them, and so was HyperReach. Those of what's out there. And I think the consensus is we liked what Everbridge had to offer. The pricing wasn't too bad. It was slightly more expensive than Winds, but
About 8,000 more.
yeah, it's about 8,000,
9.
8 or 9, yeah. So I believe we pay 13 now.
15 grand. I checked your budget yesterday.
I think it's like 12.9, but 13,000 for the for Winds. But I do believe that Everbridge, the size of the company, how they started and things like that kind of points in the right direction for us. They kind of came together when 9/11 happened. So they've been around for a very long time. And like I said, I think the price point's good at $21,876.81. And I don't think we're gonna go with the 80% at this time. I think we kind of were gonna sit and wait on that one.
So man, what I didn't understand from their quote, it said contract period 12 months, contract option years 36 months. So is it a total of, are there 3 1-year options? Or is the max 36 months? It wasn't very clear.
The max is 36 months.
Okay, so it'd be 2 1-year options. And are there any price increases associated with the options? Because the quote didn't reflect that.
Well, I asked if there was any change and he said no. This is good for the full 3 years now. After the 3 years, like everything, it's probably gonna go up. So I think we're at least safe for the first 3 years.
Do we know that for sure?
Not really, but
Because it says on contract option years in months, 36 months. So Andrew, are you interpreted it the same way, 36 months is the total, or do you think there's 3 1-year options?
They need to be locked in. for the next-
Yes.
it is for 3 years. I only brought one copy with me. Actually, you guys all can drop them off.
Did Winds ever give you a explanation,
It's always,
excuse?
the way it sounded was it was,
We had problems before the most recent event as well.
yeah, I think our first issue started back in probably 2 years ago. How long have you been EMA director?
About 18 months.
Okay, so it was probably right around that time when she came on board.
Oh, wow. Okay, should we connect those dots here?
Yeah, it's all Rebecca's.
You and you throw it under the bus.
Um, I would say it was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago that we first started noticing the issues. And it was when we had, when was, actually is the cold, when we had that cold in December. That was a year ago, I
Right,
believe,
that was Christmas, December.
when the water main broke out back, and it was right around that time frame when we first started noticing some issues. And it was always with the text message delivery. That was always the problem. They kind of, this last go around, they kind of blamed it on the carriers switching to a new format for delivering text messaging, but I guess if it's your business, you should have known that beforehand. And that change, according to the Winds company, it started January 1st. But we've had problems with text messaging before that. So my overall thought is Winds just doesn't have the capability and the backup to make sure everything goes out like it should. I just don't think they're big enough. Because they're a small local company here in, I believe, Akron or Canton, one of those places.
I think a system like this is nothing if it's not reliable. If you can't, count
Yeah.
on it, what good is it?
And that's been our problem is even Tony's emailed with Scott Detling, who is our contact with Winds. And it's been pretty much the same thing every time. It's the carriers that did it, or we don't know. I think we even we don't know what happened one time.
That's no good.
So I think that's been our biggest problem, but like I said, I think Everbridge is the way to go.
Yeah, from their proposal, it says ongoing annual fees.
Yeah,
It's the same price. So I think it'd be reasonable for the commissioners to approve it based upon that representation. And then Matt, you can just follow up, confirm with Everbridge. The commissioners approved it at this price for a total of.
That's how I read it. I just.
that's how, and that's how I understood it from Rob when we had talked to him, was that it was a 3-year, it's locked in for 3 years for us.
Well, the first thing I think we need to do, we don't have to do it right away, but at least need to take action, is we need to agree to send a notice of termination to Winds, right? So I'll make a motion at that time, and then Andrew can get with you or me on when to issue that. There's a time period. But at least this time I'll make a motion that we not renew or enter into any new agreements with Winds.
Yeah, I think we have 45 days to send them that cancellation letter. We didn't want to do this before next Monday.
Right.
But I think now we can start and get started and start getting everything moved over. What we've collected from Winds, we can get moved over into Everbridge's system.
The commissioners could authorize that notice today, and we could always
Send it.
delay sending it till, later next week.
So if somebody has signed up for Winds and we convert over to Everbridge, will they need to re-sign up?
Everything that we have currently in Winds is gonna be duplicated into Everbridge. So the same alerts that we're sending will be the same alerts that are in Everbridge. The same people that
method.
signed up for those alerts will be moved over into that same alert in Everbridge. We just have to get them the information, but that's no big deal.
And we have the information. Winds is not holding all that.
No, I was helping Gene Taddy with it this morning, so I was in there looking already. But yeah, we can get it, and it's our information really, not theirs.
Okay.
But they're just the keeper. But yeah, we can get that information out of there.
So my motion was to authorize sending a notice that the county will not renew or enter into a new agreement with Winds.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Now I'll make a motion that we enter into a 3-year agreement with no price increase at an ongoing annual fee of 21,876.81 with Everbridge.
We enter into the total 3 years right now, or should we enter into a 1 year and consider them renewals if things work out well?
Well, I took it was the option. We don't have to exercise the option. That's part of the contract. Andrew?
Preferably, it would be the initial 12 months, then potentially an additional 36 months for a total of 48.
See, but then that's why now you're saying it is 48. Right.
I would, again, you guys approve it today for 12 months, approve their proposal. For the stated price, that annual fee, for an additional 12-month term and an additional 36-month.
And-
And then Matt can clarify with Everbridge.
I'll get it in writing,
Yeah,
that it's either 36 total or 48 total.
So move.
Second,
Mayor Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
yes.
Okay, Carl, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Al, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just one. Everbridge is out of where?
California is their headquarters. Pasadena. You going to the Rose Bowl, Al?
In there.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Don't go anywhere, Matt.
I'm fine.
I put on the agenda to review your quote for the conference room. You had any questions?
I have no questions. I spoke to Andrew yesterday. Motion to approve.
Second,
The conference room, the
No,
general conference room and the,
It's the TV.
TVs,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, the TVs.
The TVs and the other stuff they're separate.
Yeah, Carl wants to come watch March Madness down there.
Banks,
yes.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Any other business? We will stand in recess
I
until
got
10
a quick question. Conference
Sure.
room where?
The new clerk's office, Al.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, we will stand in recess until 10 o'clock. Being with the dog board at that time. Hey, it's time. Okay, we have returned to session and been joined by Missy Houghton, our dog warden, and she is to ask, what question do you have to ask us?
I would like to request the funds for 2 SUVs to purchase for the dog warden's office. Simply because we will have 3 deputies and myself, and right now we have 2 working vehicles. So, need to up our vehicle fleet. We do have a 3rd one, but it doesn't run because the engine needs replaced.
Does each deputy, since they're only part-time, need their own vehicle?
So when we had 3 deputies and only 2 vehicles, I just let them use my Jeep and I drove my personal car. We could probably make it work with 3. So, I mean, with an additional vehicle, maybe.
So you're asking for 2 SUVs,
Yes,
the Chevy and the Jeep are currently running. So that'd be
Right,
both
the E-
vehicles,
yeah,
discounting the Impala.
yes,
Well, first thing we need to do, if it's not running, we need to go through the process to make it obsolete.
yes, we're going to, it's right now, it's at the mechanic shop, so we're gonna haul it back to the shelter and then put it on Gov Deals.
Okay. And so there are times when all 4 of you are working at the same time?
There are times when all 3 of us are working, and sometimes the deputy that is on call is not working that day, so they would still need their vehicle at home because they respond after hours.
Right, so I'm saying, do we really need 4 vehicles? I think we need at least 1 more.
We definitely need 1 more. I mean, we could try and see how it works with the 3 and, you know, because we won't have more than 2 deputies a day.
I don't see where that we're going to buy you 2 vehicles.
Okay.
I just spent some money out there,
Mm-hmm.
forgiven some loans,
Yes, if you have.
them off. And you're never gonna have more than, you seldom do you have more than 2 people on duty, right?
Correct. Correct.
Let's start with 1.
And your
Okay.
deputies are all part-time?
Yes.
All 3?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with 1.
Okay.
Well, one thing, before you make a motion, let's talk about what are you gonna do in the future? Because we've been investing a lot of money in your organization and we're happy to do it because we gotta take care of the 100 dogs or 100 whatever it is you take care of. But you're supposed to be self-sufficient.
Right.
How do we get you to be self-sufficient in the future?
Well, last year we ended up with a carryover that we didn't expect. So it appears that our finances are trending in the right direction where we're getting more income than outcome. I hope to continue that and see where we can cut costs even further. I'm hoping at some point the dogs level out and the numbers aren't so high. If we can get down to 60 or 70 dogs, that's going to reduce a lot of our expenses that we have because everything's just escalated due to the influx of dogs.
Yeah, Missy and I have talked about this, Daryl, and I continue to push to self-sustaining. They did finish the year with one of their better surpluses.
121,000?
Yeah, that,
See, that was from general fund though.
Correct.
right. So, they're getting there, but I have been not as, what, I don't know what the word, I have been pushing it as much considering we were at an all-time high for dogs, which means costs trail that. And
Cost of everything has increased too, so. So that,
we just approved capital monies today for non-general fund departments, did we not? Or is that out of their own budgets? I thought it was capital. Or was that in Josh's general fund?
That's out of the capital fund.
Right, so I mean, to be fair, we just approved tuck pointing and masonry work out of capital today for non-general fund departments, so that's why I felt it would be okay. But I get what you're saying. Missy and I continue to talk about it.
Well, my concern is I think this should have been budgeted all along, and I don't see any budgeting at all for vehicles from 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, or 23.
right,
It's because they haven't had any money.
Yeah.
Carried over 121,000.
Well, one second. Do you think you can make it work out of capital? Or just out of your, let's see here.
You've budgeted more for maintenance. 7,000 last year, 7,000 this year,
For
When was it?
vehicle maintenance.
vehicle maintenance.
Mhm.
I assume,
Because the Impala was having a lot of issues and then like the brakes needed changed on the Equinox and the Jeep, so we had some higher expenses.
going forward though, with more vehicles, you budget more for maintenance or oil changes and tires and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, I just got everything done on tires and everything done last year on my Jeep, so my Jeep should be fine for a while, and the Equinox is sitting pretty good too.
What'd you get for yours? I'm curious because I have the same and I need,
When I bought it, oh, what tires?
yeah,
Gosh, I don't know, I'd have to look at them because,
never mind. I'm
yeah, because the mechanic just ordered them for me. I was like, I just need mid-grade tires, so I'll look and see what they are. Yeah, yeah, I'll send you a picture so you know.
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, why don't we try to use existing funds and see what happens?
Okay,
All right. For one vehicle, we know we always at the end of the year, if we need to, help, we'll do what we can, but I do think we need to start moving into a direction where we did have $121,000 surplus, but we did just approve an additional part-time deputy, which will chip into that, but
What are you doing now? If somebody uses their own car, you're reimbursing for mileage?
I'm the only one that uses my own car, from time to time, and I've never asked for reimbursement for
I
mileage.
need to reimburse you if it's for work-related purposes, so.
Keep track of that. I don't typically use my car though, I try not to, because the dogs that we put in it, I don't know what they have, and I don't want my dogs to get it, and half the time they're bleeding or muddy and, so we try not to use mine.
Tony, I think that's a good idea. Not that we won't come back and help you again.
Mhm.
But if you use their money now and hopefully you hold it down.
It's a razor thin operation, we know that, and we have helped a lot, we paid off the debt,
Mhm.
so let's maybe, consider what that debt payment may have been this year for a vehicle, and we'll keep and monitor the budget, and Missy and I talk bi-weekly, and we'll go from there. So
Okay.
go out, try to use your own funds for now.
Okay.
Get an SUV, and we'll continue to monitor.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
So is that something when you find a car, you'll bring to us and we,
Yeah, for a purchase that big, yeah.
Go get quotes.
Yeah, I'll look around. So we have a couple dealers that, car dealerships that support the shelter and things like that, so I'll ask them first what they can find for us, so, yeah. Can do that.
Carl, do you have any questions for Missy?
Yeah, if I could, just a couple missies. I missed the beginning due to a tech thing on my end. You have 3 part-time deputies right now?
We have 2 that will be starting April 11th.
We have one right now.
We have 1 right
Okay.
now and myself.
So there are no full-time deputy dog wardens anymore.
Correct.
Okay. And just to double check, you have 2 vehicles or you have 1 vehicle and you want to add 1, or
We have 2 vehicles currently. And I
you'd
would
like to add a 3rd?
Correct.
Okay. And you had $121,000 carryover into 2024, and commissioners, I think what you just or advised or urged is to use that money to purchase a new vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
well, new vehicle to the department.
Yeah, not a
Yeah.
brand new one.
Is the source donating for part of that vehicle, Carl?
We're donating as much as we can every day, Mr. Vero, you know that. And Missy, just on an unrelated note, I saw that your volunteers have a fundraiser going on for some new cages. How is that going?
I have not checked the total of it, but I know that they have pushed out to several different news organizations to try and get more attention brought to that. So it appears that it's going well.
And I think that's pretty much what I needed. Thanks.
Al, you have anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. It is 10:10 and we will stand in recess till 10:30. Okay, we are the Board of Richland County Commissioners back in session 10:38. We've been joined from the media, Greg Kale from WMFD. And I'm going to let you two introduce yourselves from Domestic Shelter.
Yes, I'm Colleen Rice. I'm the Executive Director at the Domestic Violence Shelter serving Richland County.
And I'm Amy Bailey, and I'm the Director of Sexual Assault Services at the Domestic Violence Shelter.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this month is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Many people get confused because the title of our organization is the Domestic Violence Shelter. So it may be surprising to many individuals that we also are serving survivors of sexual assault in our community. And it is a sad reality, but something that we wanted to raise awareness for this month. Amy's team's been working very diligently on spreading the word and getting information out throughout the community through information, public awareness events, visiting our police departments. And we're just very pleased to be here today to talk with you as our county commissioners and let you know about the work that's being done. Do you want to say anything about the plans that we have this month and some of the things that your team is working on?
We will be going into several schools throughout the county. We have a campus advocate right now on OSU campus. And she will be doing planned events. There's a clothesline project that will be happening this month. We have displays throughout different agencies throughout the county as well. So maybe see one of our displays and grab some giveaways.
That's great. And we're responding 24/7, even, oh, I forgot about that. We're responding 24/7, even on holidays throughout the county at our local ERs for anyone who would like to have an advocate to respond to them after having a sexual assault. So we're really thankful for our partners at Ohio Health and Avita who call us every time a survivor shows up and would like to have assistance. And so we serve all ages also. That's not something that every domestic violence shelter and sexual assault program does. So we serve children all the way up through adults, sometimes even some infants, unfortunately, in our line of work. And so we're grateful for the support from the county. This has been a very visionary community, opening up our doors back in 1978 as one of the first 3 places in the state of Ohio to open their door to victims of violence. And so I'm proud to be here today with my team and just sharing this with you and what we do.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. It's a terrible thing, but we have to have people like you to help the victims and try to prevent helping to people in the future. And I know it's all across the board, all the genders and races and cultures, it's all across there. So we've got a proclamation that I'll read to you in part, and we'll get a couple pictures after.
Yeah.
Why don't you, Greg, where are you set up to do that?
Yeah, you can stand in front of the flag.
Did you want me to stand?
Yeah,
Okay,
stand.
okay, thank you. I need a lot of direction, as you can tell.
Trip over my.
Amy, welcome.
Oh, sure.
That sounds great. Thank you.
We have a proclamation from the Board of Commissioners for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I'm going to read part of it here that we want to end sexual violence, shape Ohio together. In Richland County, we urge all citizens to recognize this month by participating in community education efforts and supporting the survivors of sexual assault. We commend the work of the education. We commend the work of the Domestic Violence Shelter and all the advocates who dedicate themselves to preventing sexual violence and aiding those affected by it. Together, we can create a safer, more supportive community for everyone. Let us proclaim serve as a reminder. Let's let this proclamation serve as a reminder of our collective responsibility to foster a community where every individual is respected, violence is unacceptable, and survivors are supported in their healing journey. From the three commissioners, appreciate so much what you're doing and urge you to continue to fight the battle. And we urge the citizens of Richland County to join in this battle and to help you as much as they can.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You might get the other two.
You want to come up here though instead or?
That's
Oh, this is like
flags,
that, okay.
very patriotic background.
Okay.
You can sing,
I'm proud to be an American.
All
Sorry.
right.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
You never invite me to sing because I will.
There's a microphone, some karaoke for it.
Yeah.
Greg may have questions, and I'll go away.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can sit back down. Yeah.
All right, super. Thank you.
We lose our other media people.
No,
Oh, they're there.
you can go first.
I can go first.
You can go first.
You mentioned your medical partners in Avita and Ohio Health, so obviously, can you talk a little bit about that process if somebody is sexually assaulted? And I know it's a sensitive time, but the professionalism that the medical staff uses to take them through that process.
We have a wonderful multidisciplinary team throughout the county that includes our county prosecutor, our law enforcement, and the nurses at the hospital are definitely a key component. So when someone arrives to the emergency room and they disclose to the medical personnel there that they have been probably sexually assaulted in some way, or that there's a concern that their child may have been sexually assaulted, the nurses are there to start that process with them. And then the role our advocates play is to be there with them during that process and explain the process and how it will go. Because the nurses have their hands full with that exam. And there's a lot of different pieces and parts, and they can't always be there answering the questions for the survivor during that process. So we're there to guide them along. We've had people there for an hour and up to 10 hours at times, just providing that advocacy and support, whatever that person needs during that situation, we're there to help. We also bring in clothing. We have wonderful sponsors through the Youth and Family Council, and also through the Women's Endowment, through the Richland County Foundation. They helped us build kits that we can bring in that have toys in them for children, but also more importantly, clothing, underwear, and different items like that. Because when someone has been sexually assaulted and perhaps law enforcement and the prosecutor, and they want to collect evidence, many times their clothing and the things that they brought with them are taken as evidence. And so we make sure that they have new items, new underwear, new clothing to wear when they leave the facility, and that they have those things with them to help them throughout that situation. They don't have to make a call to try somebody to dig up clothing at home.
So you're dealing with our most vulnerable population, children, all the way up through adults, people who are.
Yeah, and even elderly individuals who've been victimized in different situations. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, and they can call us too. So they don't have to go through the hospital. They can call our hotline, which is open 24 hours a day. And that's 419-774-5843 or 5840. I'm sorry, the business office is 43. 419-774-5840.
So obviously, the shock and trauma of going through that situation, you guys are there to respond.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Amy respond to that.
You can,
Mhm.
to walk them through, because a lot of times people are kind of shell shocked and may not even know what to do.
Right.
So if you can just talk about how you respond to this.
So we're there through the whole process. While they're there with law enforcement, we accompany them so that they're not alone. Support. Afterwards, we look for referrals for counseling if that's what they choose to do, support groups, kind of referral to meet their immediate need at the time.
Al, you have any questions?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Carl?
Yeah, if I could, what are you seeing in terms of numbers of sexual assaults that your agency, your shelter is dealing with? How does the last few years compare to one another? Is there a rise, staying the same, declining?
Yeah, so over the last few years, it's been pretty steadily the same. We usually see somewhere between 150, 180 clients per year, and that's through mostly hospital referrals.
Do you have any estimates, how many might be unreported, like that are out there? Is there anything in your field where you know that?
It's astronomical. Most people don't report. There's several reasons why they don't feel comfortable reporting. So yeah, the majority of sexual assaults go unreported.
Carl?
Okay, that's what I had. Thanks.
Okay. Right. Ladies, we appreciate you coming in
Thank
and
you very much.
the work you do.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you and helping us raise this awareness. It's wonderful.
You're always welcome back.
Thank you.
If you sing again.
If I sing again,
I think
okay.
we should
All
have
right.
to sing every time.
Sounds good. Have a great day
You too.
Any other?
and stay safe out there. Right?
They dry, right?
Yeah, we have some storms brewing.
Mm.
Any other business to come forward? Hearing none. It's 10:50 and we stand adjourned.